Everyone, hope you brought your tea, you got your coffee, you got your drinks. This is going to be an exciting presentation. So first of all, welcome to everyone who's here. It tells me a little bit about you. I do want to take a poll and kind of get a feel for who's on the call. I recognize a few names, and then there's so many people coming on board that we can't keep up with it. But I'll tell you a little bit about my background, and then we'll kind of open it up, and I want to get started with the presentation. So my name is Greg Rex. I'm here in beautiful northern Nevada near Lake Tahoe. I live on an off-grid 40-acre property. It's going to be a wellness resort. And I have been involved in technology for a long time. A lot of the businesses, I've started about 10 different businesses, and one of them back in the day was working with Tony Robbins. And what we were doing there was kind of launching human development technology. How do you become a better person? And then I started with another business with a friend of mine, John Assaraf, introducing virtual tours. We brought a new technology to the world that had never been there before. Prior to virtual tours, for going and looking at a home, you'd have to drive around all weekend and look at places. With virtual tours, you could watch 30 houses in 30 minutes, pick the two that you like the best, and save a lot of time. So I've been disrupting and bringing technology to the world for a long time. After that, I started virtual coaching business, and that was super fun because most coaching had been done one-on-one, and we started leveraging technology and Zoom. Back when Zoom first came out, boy, I wish I would have bought some stock in Zoom back then. But using Zoom and using virtual technology, we started coaching people. We built a company from 0 to 1.6 billion, and we've had a massive impact. And one thing that I'm really excited about being on this call today is that the Connect platform, this community that you're being introduced tonight, is all about making a positive impact. And how I got hooked up is my friend Jim Bunch is the CEO of Connect. And I'm going to just kind of raise a hand. I want to get, if you could put in the chat, I found that there's 4 levels of people. There's kind of cryptophobes or technophobes. People are like, oh my gosh, technology is overwhelming. I don't want to touch it. It's too much. Put my hand in the sand. I was kind of like that a little bit at the beginning. The second level, I would say, so if you're level 1, that's your, like, I don't like technology. I'm kind of phobic. Number 2 is I'm curious. I'm crypto curious. I'm technology AI curious. I see it coming. I'm interested, but I don't really feel confident yet. That's number 2. Level 3 is somebody who has a wallet. They've been in the game. They've been doing transactions. They know about crypto, and they're familiar. They're confident that they can do something. And then the 4th level is like an OG, somebody who's been there. They've been around the block like John. They know this business. So put in the chat if you're a 1, 2, 3, 4, just to give me an idea who we have on the call. Okay, we have a 1, 2 with Gerald, 3.5 with Ren and Cassie. Okay, 2, 3, 3, 10. All right, yeah, JT, I believe that. I'm so grateful to have you on this call. And so back to my story was, Jim Bunch is one of my best friends. I was the best man at his wedding. We've built multiple business together. We've invested in each other's startups, and we've had a lot of fun together. So the trust that I have with him, knowing his integrity, knowing his values, knowing him as a person, makes me feel really good about this. So how I first got introduced was January of 2024. There was a seminar, and I heard about AI and blockchain, and I was so excited, but I was pretty much overwhelmed. I had my life going on, and I couldn't do anything. Prior to that, the only thing I'd ever done with crypto was just bought and hold a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum. Now, when I first heard about this was 2015. At that point, Bitcoin was about $200. In 2020, when I really got rocked and I got woken up, was when I started really investing, was when I saw what was happening with the world and the control and the power and how much people were propagandizing me. And social media became like this really interesting thing that it used to be fun. Then it became very toxic. And I was like, whoa, I got to pull back. So I started buying and holding Bitcoin and Ethereum pretty much. That's all I did, because I never saw the utility. I never saw the value. It just was like an alternative currency. It seemed very speculative to me. I saw the value, but I didn't see the real life utilization. So when I met Jim and I learned about this platform that I'm going to share with you today, I fell in love because I saw it was having a positive impact on the planet, on people, and it was using technology for us. There's only 2 industries in the world where clients are called users. In the drug industry and in social media, we are users. We're not the product. We are the product, I should say. We are not clients. They're using us. And what I want to do is flip that. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do we flip that? How do we let technology work for us? And so we're going to go into a presentation to show how we are doing that here at Connect United. All right. So first thing we got to start off with is a few little housekeeping things, our disclaimers. We are very compliant. We take our community very serious. So we really want to make sure that we do everything above the board. This, if you want to screenshot this is all the details that you can get for our compliance. But let me just kind of give you the summary. This may contain forward-looking statements because I'm talking about a startup, and I'm going to also be talking about where we're going. There are going to be no earning claims or financial advice. The digital rewards are for utility. So when you earn them, you can use them. And I'll show you how. DYOR, do your own research. Everything that we say is information, but go and double check it and look at yourself. We have white papers. We have all the information if you want to go deeper into the governance. And this node in blockchain is governed by the DGF, which is a distributed governance framework. And that means that we are autonomous and we are the community and we make decisions together. So I'll start with this big problem. I kind of alluded to it. How many of you would agree, you can put in the chat, if you think our systems for humanity are broken? There's a lot of dysfunction. There's a lot of corruption. And sometimes we don't even know how to fix it. It seems like such a big thing. Some of these industries are giant. Our energy industry, where people are overpaying while the planet suffers. Our food industry, where we're getting chemicals instead of nourishment, and big ag is controlling and selling us one kind of product and selling a different kind of product in a different country. Our healthcare industry, we have the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States is the healthcare industry, our healthcare system. It's very dangerous. There's complications. We're treating symptoms and we're not going after the cause. And we don't really use natural healing very much. And we want to change that. And finally, in finance, in the way the global governments and the feds are set up, is very few people have the power and a lot of people are being left behind. And so, AI is going to only accelerate that. AI is the cat's out of the bag. One of my mentors is Marshall Thurber, and he told me about this thing called structural change. And structural change means when structural change happens, there's no going back. So when the internet came out and we could start doing email, hardly anyone uses fax machines anymore. When automobiles came out, we dropped the horse and buggy, and hardly anyone's using horse and buggies anymore. So a structural change is something that is going to change massively. Now, it's changing the speed at which things happening. So the acceleration is accelerating. OpenAI reached 1 million people in 5 days. We surpassed 100 million active users in January just by 2 months alone. AI, Google, all these other are racing in this, like spending billions of dollars to really own the market. And these big guys, I don't know. Do you trust them? Do you trust these big behemoth global international companies? And see, all through this, it's all about data. AI right now is a powerful thing. I mean, we can get information. You can do a business plan. You can write an article. AI is amazing, right? I use it every day. But at the same time, I'm always worried about Big Brother listening in, and they're capturing and harvesting our data. So if you haven't seen the movie Social Impact, go get that. Go check out the movie. I'm sorry, not Social Impact. Social Dilemma, the dilemma. It's a story about all the founders of social media and how they designed it to be addictive. And they are harvesting our information there, but we need to flip that. What if you've seen that picture of a bunch of little fish and they're eating the big shark, a bunch of, the 1% versus the 99%? What if we could get technology to start working for us again? That's what the mission of this community that you're looking at today is. And there's been an evolution in the web. Now, I remember in 1994, I went around Canada, did a 26-city tour, teaching people how to make money and do business on the internet. 1994 was just launching. And back then we had Netscape, we had a few pages, and the Web 1.0 was pretty limited. It was mostly read-only. Big corporations could use it. Very few consumers did. and the power wasn't yet to the people. Web 2.0, social media networks, apps started coming in, Airbnb, Facebook, all these different tools that made it so that we can interact, and actually we started having more valuable. It was still something that was a lot dominated by the big guys, but it started leveling the playing field. Web 3.0 is kind of where we are right now, and we're transitioning to 4.0. Web 3.0 is when you started seeing the promise of decentralization. Bitcoin, AI started coming in. People started having a blockchain where they could protect their data. They could do peer-to-peer transactions, smart contracts, things like that. So these things are still evolving. But right now we're at a transition because we're going into a whole new level when two disruptive technologies are getting married: blockchain and AI. So that's what we're going to talk about, Web 4.0. So Web 4.0 is not just a better version of 3.0. It's a new foundation. It's a new platform where sovereignty and transparent layers are what we are living on, we're building on. AI is your ally, not your overlord. Blockchain tracks truth, not just ads. And value flows freely. It's earned, not extracted or harvested from us. You don't log onto the platform, you own the platform. And that's what I'm excited to share with you today. Some of you that were invited might have even been given a free BlockBot Mini. So we're going to talk about what that is. But the vision, stepping back to the vision of what we're trying to do, is we're launching the world's first social impact platform. So what that means is it's powered by AI, but it's driven towards impact, towards making a positive influence, getting smarter, getting better, personal development, learning about these tools, learning about AI, learning how to speak the language, how to be fluent, and how to actually sculpt the culture. You know, when you become a BlockBot owner, you have a vote in this community on how we do things, how we show up, what decisions we make, what we incentivize. You're actually kind of like a shareholder, you will, in some ways. So how does this journey start? Well, in 2015, some of the founders who were very successful in early crypto, one of the number one Bitcoin miners in the United States, had made a lot of money, but was like, how can I make a difference? How can we take all this success and these wins, and how can we translate it into something that's going to make the world a better place? So he started what's I call patenting the first AI robot that's powered by the blockchain. That's what BlockBot is. It's an AI personalized robot that's on the blockchain that works for you. So 10 years later, after patenting that, we've been working on investing millions, actually over $600 million have been put into this ecosystem, this platform, to build these tools to help us. So a BlockBot is kind of like an AI assistant, a guide, a digital twin, and we are building it to work for us initially on the blockchain, on the Win blockchain that we're on, but eventually it's going to go out as an agent into the world and do all kinds of stuff for it. So let's first talk about what it is right now. It's really a revolution in how we get onto the internet. Think about this is an access point to Web 4.0. This is your way to access and utilize Web 4.0, and it's really, really beautifully designed. And you can kind of see how technology's evolved in this visual here. You know, first the internet came out, and then that gave us AOL. AOL was how we got on the internet. It was a little disk. Some of you may be old enough to remember. You get a little disk, you pop it in. It made it easy for us to connect to the internet. Then mobile devices gave us the iPhone and the smartphone and all the things that we can do there. And then AI gave us ChatGPT, the giant, behemoth. We have other, large language models, but ChatGPT is kind of dominating. And then Web 4.0, this is giving us the birth of the BlockBot. The BlockBot is that resource that's going to be guiding you in through Web 4.0. And it's working for you 24/7. There's different things it does for you. Number one is it learns from your behavior and your preferences and the actions that you take, and it starts to get to know you and think more and more like you. You can earn daily rewards through proof of action, not speculation. It connects you to other users on the platform and projects in the ecosystem. And most importantly, it rewards you automatically every time you show up and every time you engage. You add value to this community, you get rewarded. So let's go a little bit more into details what that looks like. So the BlockBot is what powers up. We call it the heartbeat of this blockchain, of the Win blockchain. And behind every action that you do, what it does is, I guess one way to think about what blockchain is it's like if you had an agreement with a friend and you were going to write it down and you were going to seal it forever, but you also had 1,000 of your friends that you trusted watching and confirming that agreement so that there was no mistake. This is called a smart contract. And what happens is when you do these certain activities, it builds trust. And in this networked world that we live in, the number one currency is trust. That's why these big corporations are losing their power, because they're losing the trust of the people that they're supposed to be serving. The blockchain is a tool for creating trust and transparency. Now, when you're using your BlockBot, whether it's a BlockBot Mini or a full BlockBot, you're going to have 4 ways to earn. One is mining rewards. Number 2 is action rewards. Number 3 is learning rewards and sharing rewards. Give you a couple examples. I have multiple BlockBots, and every day they are on the internet confirming these transactions, making sure that that digital smart agreement that I made is true. And every time we do that, we get paid in cryptocurrency, Win tokens. Action rewards is when you do something, you complete something, you take a course, you learn, you can earn while you learn. That's what the learning rewards are. And sharing rewards is anytime you help somebody else get onto this blockchain, whether it's with a free account, or whether it's a BlockBot Mini, or whether it's a BlockBot, you get rewards and you get tokens for sharing. So they really encourage the behaviors that grow the health of this network. So the Win blockchain is a proof of action, which is very unique. Proof of action means that you are seeing the actions that you're doing, and it shows up almost instantaneously. And every time you're doing an action, for example, if you log on to the blockchain and you're consistent with your actions, you're going to get more score. You're going to get more points. This is in addition to the mining that you're doing. This is for you taking action. And as you take actions, you get more points and you get a rank. In this rank, one of the things that they also reward you for is not only your actions, but the actions of your network. So if you have a very active network, you get points and you get higher ranks. And what they've done brilliantly is they reward you for direct actions, like when you share directly, but also they reward you for the whole entire universe. So every day when the sales are done, all the value, all the currency, all the transactions that are done, there's a pool called an index, and some of that money goes into a pool, and people who are active and contributing, they get a percentage of that. The other thing you get with your BlockBot is you get your shopping cart, where you can do real life transactions. You can get products and services, and you can get them in different, what we call projects. Now, these different projects, Grow, for example, is one of my favorite. Grow is a regenerative farm to table blockchain where I get most of my beef from converting some of my Ethereum into Grow, and my Grow node that's just, creating crypto every day. I'm using that to actually buy the beef that gets onto my table. And what I love about it is there's a QR code, and you can actually click on that. You can see the life of that cow. You can see when it was born, what it was fed, what kind of medicines does it have, when did it die. It's amazing. So you know exactly what's going in your body. So we have these different kinds. Rally, for example, we're on what we call R-Link. This is a Zoom alternative. So we're Zoom right now. If we were on Zoom, it would be listening to every one of our words, creating an avatar profile, and then using that data to sell to big companies to sell us stuff, right? All the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, they all do it. Well, this is a video conferencing system that's on the blockchain, so all of our data is protected. We don't have to worry about Big Brother. So we have all these different projects, healthcare, communications, etc. So when you have access to those, you can actually see what's happening in this. It's like a new ecosystem for commerce, this new future energy where we have every product on the blockchain is in the cart and it's tracked. So every transaction is tracked to confirm. It's immutable. It's impact driven. We're trying to make a difference in all these different industries. We're trying to decentralize banking, decentralize education, decentralize mining. And behind the scenes, like I was telling you about, there's this thing called the smart flow engine, and it's tracking all the revenue from all those different brands I was telling you about, and it puts it into the blockchain for proof of action where we get rewards and we get to share. So one thing is, if you're here tonight, it'd be a good idea for you to get in, because as this goes, once you get in and you have your wallet, your BlockBot or your BlockBot Mini, and you do your first transaction, you have timestamped yourself in this blockchain. So every other person that comes in after you, whether we get to millions and millions of people, you will be able to capitalize and take a small revenue share of the action of the whole network. So let's kind of drill down on that. There's 4 types of blockchain rewards. There's transaction rewards for, like, when you refer somebody and they take an action or they buy something in the shopping cart. There's confirmation rewards when you are confirming all those transactions, when your BlockBot is actually calculating. There's block rewards, which is an impact BlockBot. When you've helped a few other people get on, you then qualify for what are called those node support rewards, which is that index I was talking about, that big share of that pool. So it makes sense for us to get into this platform and start learning so that we can educate ourselves and then educate others. And what I love about this is it's very different than most other blockchains and most other, whenever I talk to somebody about, hey, are you familiar with blockchain? The first thing they think of is crypto. But guess what? That'd be like saying, hey, are you familiar with the internet? And the only thing they know about is email. With blockchain, there's unlimited numbers of uses. What we're starting to do is not only focus on crypto, but focus on real life value and community and improvement of humanity. So how do you do this? All you got to do is, number 1, purchase or activate your BlockBot or your BlockBot Mini, start taking action, and start earning rewards. It's that easy. So what can you do with your rewards? Well, number 1 is you can share them. I love doing this for birthday gifts. I mean, what if somebody would have given you like 1 Bitcoin, in 2015 when it was $200? So, I like giving people like a couple hundred or a couple thousand of my win tokens as a birthday gift. So I give it to somebody, and maybe they want to learn how to use it. That's enough to get them curious to start playing with it. You can also swap it. Like I was saying, I swap my Ethereum for Grow, and then I use the Grow to buy my beef. You can save it and hodl like I do with most of my Bitcoin and Ethereum. I just kind of buy and hold and just watch it and see what it's going to do. I'm not into trading. And then also you can multiply. And the more you do, the more action you take, the more you grow, and the more valuable the network comes. The more people on the network and the more people using it is what drives up the value of the token, of the network itself. Now, speaking of growth, we are today the fastest growing AI blockchain ecosystem in the world. We have over 41,000 BlockBots and I think it's up to 79. Well, no, it's really close. It's like 170, I think, countries now, over 1 trillion transactions, which is more than Ethereum's network. We've done more transactions than Ethereum, and we put out over 560 billion in digital rewards. So when would be a good time to get in? Probably now. If you're curious and interested, you can get started with free with the BlockBot Mini. So we'll talk about that in a second. So like I said, the more people that connect, the more power the BlockBot and this network becomes. So let's kind of give you a visual of how it works. I'm going to take you behind the scenes into a BlockBot, and so you can see how it works. So one of the beautiful features that we have is this amazing analytics and dashboard. So we can see everything that's happening with our own actions, our friend chain actions, what our friends are doing, what our nodes are producing. We can look at all the different projects, the Grow, the Rally, all the different projects that we're involved in. So we have a beautiful dashboard that helps you understand and see things. This is very unique. The other thing is we talked about is WinPay, and this is part of the blockchain engine that tracks all the rewards and gets people little fractional rewards. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small. Like you can see the node support reward here was in Rally, which is our link. Some of them are in win, and you can get rewards in different things. You can do withdrawals, you can cash out, you can transfer, you can send. So you get these win rewards sent to you, and it goes into your dashboard so you can see where it's coming from. Here's one of my favorites, the Earn to Learn. This is powered by the full BlockBot. We get a partial access, like an intro access if you're a BlockBot Mini, but the Earn to Learn is beautiful. I would have become a part of this network just for this. How many of you have been on Facebook and you've seen like this ad pop up? Hey, 15-year-olds are building $1 million businesses with AI. And if you're 50 years or older, you don't want to be left behind. And they sell you a, $5,000, $10,000, AI course, right? It's the opposite here. If you join this community, we get you into what's called Earn to Learn Academy, and you actually get paid to learn about blockchain, to learn about AI, to take classes. It's super cool. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes a week of my time. I block it out. It's actually, today is the day. This afternoon, we're going to be having our launch. But what we do is we have a video that's usually 5 to 15 minutes long, a little quiz that you take, and then usually one action to take to make sure that you got what you were learning. You do that, and each week we can earn up to $200 in digital rewards with NFTs or tokens. So the Earn to Learn, if you bought a BlockBot for $2,000 and you did every lesson for the whole year, that would work out to be $10,400 worth of rewards for a $2,000 lesson. So I think that's a great value. The other thing you get for your BlockBot or your BlockBot Mini is a free custody wallet. This is super important. This is where you can store your crypto, your rewards, your NFTs, transfer. This is a very, very important tool. This is like your on-ramp to the digital blockchain world. Now, we do have an existing market. So the WIN tokens and the GROW tokens, these are on exchanges and markets. They're just started. I mean, we've only been in business for about a year. Each of these major projects have only been in business about a year. So they're still very, 0.0001 or whatever. They're very low in value. But what that means is they're huge in potential. Like I said, what if you could have gotten, one Bitcoin 10 years ago? Now it's worth $100,000. And we don't know, we can't make any claims of where things are going, but we know what drives the behavior. The more people that are using this, the more value we have, the more the market wants to be part of it. And then that's where the value goes up. So let me do a comparison for those of you that were invited. Some of you were given a free BlockBot Mini or invited to get a free BlockBot Mini, which is amazing. This is a great way to get started. It's a mini node that will produce daily rewards, but it's 1/100th of a regular BlockBot. It will give you access to your digital your profile, where you're starting to use AI as your BlockBot Mini to get to know you. You have access to the social impact platform and all the features that I kind of showed you there. And you have access to the BlockBot operating system, which is all those resources I showed you, tracking, friend chain, your WinPay, all those things, and your smart wallet. Now, what you don't get is the detailed analytics. You don't get the Earn to Learn, the $200. You can still take classes and Earn to Learn. You just can't earn the $200 rewards unless you're a full BlockBot. And then you also get your Power Node startup. Now, just so you know, anyone who is invited for the next little while, we're going to be giving away 1 million BlockBot Minis. And the reason we're doing that is, number one, is we want to get as many people exposed as possible. But B, we need the feedback. This is an alpha program. So right now, they're free. But in the near future, they're going to be $500 each. And this will be like the intro product for people that want to just test the waters. You do get your first month. Automatic hosting is free. And if you want to keep your BlockBot Mini after the first month, it's only $1 a month for hosting. Now, the full BlockBot empowers you with 100 times more rewards and all these other features. One thing to know about is you can have multiple BlockBots. If it's a 1-to-1, your second BlockBot, it's double. When you get to the 5th BlockBot, it goes to 6. So basically, if you have 5 BlockBots, you get paid on 6. And that is a cool feature because in the near future, BlockBots are going to be limited. Right now, you can get as many as you want. I have multiple. A lot of people have multiple BlockBots because they really believe in this mission. So this is not just another product. This is an infrastructure. This is a This is a highway that is on a multi-trillion-dollar transformation that we are part of. It's very exciting to be in the early stage. Now, yes, the early stage means there are growing pains. You know, there are hiccups. We're in alpha. In many of our things, we're in beta and we're in full launch. But in the BlockBot Mini, it's an alpha. So know that your feedback is important. That's the only thing we ask, is that you connect with us and send a message to, support@connectunited.com. Take a screenshot if something's not working or you have a suggestion to make it better. That's why we want you to have a free block button to be part of this. So kind of to close it up, BlockBot is the impact what we're trying to make. We're trying to decentralize. We're trying to bring the control back to the people. And we're doing it in these big industries. What if you could get your electric bill paid for free because you were doing actions and you were supporting companies that were doing clean energy? What if you could get your food from a source that you knew exactly what it was? What if you could have your health care and you could get wellness services, and you can have your mental health improved, and you can have all these tools and resources working for you instead of harvesting your data? What about finances? What about AI? All these different industries. And we have about 14 different projects that we are doing. Get with the person who invited you to do a couple things. Number one is activate your BlockBot Mini, or get a full BlockBot, or get multiple BlockBots. Number two, get on the platform, start playing around with it. Go in and set up your digital identity, start taking some classes, learn, and then also learn how to share it. Get this out to people that we all know people that are curious, or they are power users already, or they know that this is coming. I'm a surfer. And how many of you think that this is a big wave that's coming? Right? This is a huge wave that's coming. When a big wave's coming, if you're just sitting there waiting for it, it will lift you up and throw you over the falls. When a big wave's coming, you got to be paddling like your life depends on it, because if you don't have enough speed, you won't drop in. So I got to say, for me to be able to be in front of a giant wave with people I love and trust, and with a company that's trying to make a positive impact, I feel really proud and really good about this. I wrote a book called Stoked. The subtitle is Spiritual Journey from Employee to Lifestyle Entrepreneur. And in that book, I talked about how when I was young, I figured out there's probably 100 ways I could make $100,000. But I decided I want to make $100,000 or more doing something that really matters, that really wakes me up and I feel good when I go to bed, like I'm leaving the world a better place. So thank you, JT. Thank you, Jim Bunch. Thank you, all the pioneers that came in. When I was working for Tony Robbins, I got to sit down with some pretty amazing people. I met a guy named Nolan Bushnell. Probably you never heard of him, but you know what he did. Nolan Bushnell created two industries that never existed. He's the creator of Pong, that started the whole video game industry. And he was the creator of Chuck E. Cheese, which started like entertainment food industries, right? And I sat down and I asked him, I go, man, Nolan, you have been amazing at picking timing, getting in something and starting something and riding these big waves. What's your secret? He said, Greg, it's pretty tricky. He goes, there's two things you have to watch. He goes, number one, the pioneers, if you get in too early, you're going to take all the arrows in the back. But number two, if you're the last one in, the slow buffalo is always getting shot. So you can't get in too early and you can't get in too late. And right now, I think we're in that perfect time that we've already built a foundation. We've got, millions and millions of dollars into it. And now we're starting to launch, but it's still a secret. Few people know about this. So this is a chance for us to really lead and to shape the future of AI. And I'm really proud to be a part of this. So JT, is there anything I left out that you want to close us out with?
Hey, no, you did great. So just to recap on the presentation, really what we have here is a new layer. It's called Web 4, and BlockBot is your ticket into this space. And within this space, it's unlike traditional spaces. You get rewarded for your time, your energy, your efforts. You heard about a lot of the impact verticals, that we're trying to, solve problems in various industries. And you learned a little bit about how we have a shopping cart with a multitude of different products and services. That revenue, like we looked at the markets, right? You see where they're at. Like that's not speculative. That's based on, people purchasing products or service. We're on one of our products and services here. And, we're going to take the next little bit of time to kind of show you what BlockBot is. And we have Jim on here. I'm hoping he kind of gives us the, future vision of kind of where we're going, the midterm vision and kind of like where we're at right now. But very unique opportunity. There's a massive wave coming. I'm not a surfer. I've caught these waves before, and it's really about being in the right place at the right time and taking massive action in the right place at the right time. And we have this opportunity here today, and that's really what the call to action is. It's come on in for free, grab your BlockBot Mini, plug in, take a look at what we're doing, and if you decide you want to go full BlockBot, we're going to kind of show you what that looks like. So that's what I got. Appreciate you doing the presentation. Great job, Greg.
Thanks, John. So we're going to wrap up this presentation. If you guys were here and you want to share this, we're going to have a recording available to you. And if you are invited by someone, get to the person who invited you to help you get started. Otherwise, if you want to stay on, we are going to go into a little, how do you get started? What's the next step? So thanks, John. Thanks, everyone. I'm not going to end the seminar, but I'm going to stop it and then restart it. So if you want to stay in the room, just stay in and we'll get started with the training right afterwards. Thanks, everyone. I hope I did that right. Put everyone in the waiting room. I'm going to stop the recording.